Greetings, sisters. I hope that you are standing in your light and your divinity. And if not, I hope that you are on journey to it. My name is Anat, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel, The Essence of a Woman Talk. Today, talk is about landscapes, maps, the maps of our life, journeying. Most of my videos are going to be about journeying, especially the tree of life is one of those journey pathways that we can relate physical and spiritually. But I have came across a book almost 10 years ago. It's called The Map. And it's from Colette Baron Reed. And she also, when she, a few years later, she made the divination cards, which I had to get because I love the book so much. I love how she explains that our journey is full of landscapes and different allies and different traps and different things that how we maneuver and how we can see the maps of our life, of our journey, and be aware of it. And when you are aware of it, you kind of can see the signs. You could kind of see where is a safe route or how to maneuver your way out of these landscapes, because some landscapes are good and some are not, and most of the ones that are not are ones there for lessons. And when you learn the lessons, you're able to move on to the next landscapes. And in your journey, you need certain tools, and along the journey you will find different allies, and then you're going to find some foes, and this is the way through our journey we elevate and we grow and we transform by the experience that we have. And I wanted to kind of share some of the cards from the divination. I usually use the divinations first and lay out a landscape, and then have the other cards come around and they have a whole message. So these are some of the cards that I usually use a lot of times, and even with myself, that I, even when I'm feeling kind of certain ways and I get up in the morning, I kind of, okay, which landscape I'm in and how do I maneuver out of it. And it's such a beautiful tool. And in some of the cards, they really makes you reflect. And this is what this channel is about. It's about making one reflect and be aware. And the more, the better that we are able to kind of get out of that situation or out of that feeling within ourselves, because we have several journeying. We have the physical, we have the internal, the mental. We go through so many journeys at one time. And one of the tools that we use in a journey is a compass. Okay. And even with the number 50, and you reduce that, that number is of change, of challenges. So when you go through different changes, through different landscapes. And the compass, it has different directions. And they said that the spirit is in the north. When you put the compass to north and you follow it, you are, in guidance with the spirit. You are in tune. You are, journeying to it. And so this is one of the tools that we use when we are journeying, when we lose ourselves, and to be able to get back in track. And in this map, this map that we have certain allies when we go through different landscapes and do journeying to them. But these are also your internal. When you think about, okay, these allies, they're also dwell within you. And these two allies that I just love, it is the bone collector. They're elder. They mean that they're into wise. They know a lot. And the gardener. And these two, they're twin sisters, and they live in different landscape. The gardener, she lives in the fields of dreams, where she takes our seeds and whatever, because she doesn't discriminate in which kind of seed you're putting down. She just makes a space for you to plant those seeds. And we have the bone collector. Her home is in the island of broken dreams. It sounds sad, um, but she does amazing work. And the way is through her pathway, accessible to her, is through the Valley of Loss and the Vandalist house. When someone vandalized your house, and somebody came in and just into your sanctuary and just wreck everything, take something, you're lost. Something is away from you, disconnected. And where she lives, the bone collector, she is like a graveyard of bones, and bones is a symbol of indestructible. It's very hard to burn, it's very hard to get rid of, and also it could be a symbol of a spirit soul. A spirit soul, you cannot destroy it, but it can be wounded. It can have the marks of fear, the marks of doubts. It could have it just by by the experience that we have. And when we are so much accessible to these traumas and stuff, is when in our younger childhood years. And sometimes those dramas, even in the present, even in your mother, even in the elder, we can go through traumas. We can go through things that um, seep deep in us, and it has a like a vine that just grows within us. And her duty that she does is that she takes these misplaced bones, these lost things, these lost bones, and she cleans it out. She makes music out of them, something that has been distorted with pain or loss. She's able to transform it into something beautiful. And these two, they have their own purpose, and they also within ourself. And so here, where she lives here, the gardener is, like I said, the fields of dreams. And all these eggs could be also be for seeds, and it has magic in here. You can see the fairies, the butterflies in there. Um, like I said, when you have these seeds, you could put intentions of sadness, you could put intentions of happiness, of things that you want to achieve, goals. But she will plant them. No matter what, she will plant them, and they will come forth. But you got to be careful how you put your seeds down, because sometimes weeds could come out. Certain plants that need to be paired up together, and some when you do and they don't, they kind of affect each other in a negative way. So to be aware of what we're planting, and the connection to this bone collector. He's not an ally, but he is considered a challenge. And this is the goblin. Before the goblin, he was a goblin. He was a gnome, and gnomes are tend to be underground, very earthy. They guard gems, treasures. They're helpers of earth, and but when they hit the sun, sometimes they say that gnomes are turned to stones. Some will say that they will turn a grotesque into a goblin and then become a trickster. The goblin represent the shadow places within ourselves. They said that the goblins are born by when something is taken. And here we have number 5, which is change, challenges, change through challenges. And the goblin comes around when its birthday is when a bone was taken, and through trauma, through things, and it becomes a voice within ourselves. It becomes a voice of doubt, negative self-talk, we become a prisoner of it at times. And sometimes we can have several goblins. Sometimes we can give goblins to our children. We could have goblins from passed down from ancestors, from generations. Um, it becomes such a disturbance within us, and we become a prisoner within ourselves because we start hearing the goblin. We start hearing its voice of just saying you're unworthy, you need me, you can't. And most people, they ignore the shadow. They want to put it right in the closet. They want to ignore it. They don't want to face it because it's very painful. It's very painful to be faced with the truth. And he takes the bone, right, and it ends up in the bones collector graveyard. And but for you to let him know where it is, like you have to let him tell you. So most people would just like come with confusion, anger. I know I have dealt with my shadow with a lot of anger, with a lot of depression, with a lot of negative talk. And but the way to deal with the goblin is with kindness, with understanding what's the name. Just like in Skin when she found out his name about spinning the gold from the straw to gold. When she knew the name, she had power over it. When you realize what, when he was born, what is his name, you are able to deal with it. You are able to put him to sleep. It has a story of Shekmet. You know, she was sent out to punish mankind, but then it got out of hand, and then the God he put her to sleep because it was doing just too much destruction. And sometimes we have to put the goblin to sleep, and with kindness and with understanding. And before he goes to sleep, he will let you know what the name of a word is. And usually it will be by the bone collector when you're ready to retrieve it, when when you're aware of it, when you are ready to face it. And she will be there ready for you to have it and to reclaim it. And remember, all this is with you and within you. You are the gentle gardener. You are the bone collector. These allies are within you. We have so many aspects as women, and to be able to heal ourselves within ourselves. It has another ally that is the wizard of awareness. Okay, this person within us is an observer. It has, I would say, like it has like the lower, the higher self, and then it has the middle person, the ones that is watching, that is observing, not to take things personally, to step back, to be that eagle, to have the bigger picture, to see things in a higher way. When you are so close up, you just don't see what's around. But when you step back, give more of the picture, you see how things are being connected, and not going so deep, because everybody, they are the lead of their own movie. And sometimes we can take things so personal, that to the point that it just makes us so frustrated, so feeling of negative energy, because why that person is that way, or why me, and why, becoming that victim. And it's so easy to have that victim because of the things and the hurt and the pain and the emotional things, and like we don't deserve this, and we don't. And I dealt with that. I am still working through all these pathways of my own journey. And But when we are aware of it, we are able to kind of move on forward with a clear mind. And these landscapes, sometimes we can go into the dry desert. And the desert is a place that it to us is not have a lot of resources. And it's a place of desolate. It's a lonely place. But this woman, she's taken that journey. And right here you see a cactus, and uh, cactus grows in places with very little water, but the roots it shares and spreads around. And also a desert could also mimic an ocean. It has waves and it moves around, and it's creature that survive with with minimum. And when we leave this landscape, we can be better transformed with that resilience that we just learned from this landscape. We are able to move on to the next. The other thing about the desert, one of the things that I love that I have just recently got in my collection, it is a desert rose stone. And to me, it's like a coral reef of the land of the desert, uh, and it's transformed. It is mixed with three different elements: the wind, the air, water, and sand. And in the desert is fire. So when we have water, air, earth, and fire, and it's such a beautiful. They grow in different sizes, um, and it just looks like a rose, and some looks like a coral reef. It This stone represent for the head chakra and the root chakra, above and below, and it's just transformation, and we become transform in these different landscapes and find beauty in the desert, in a place, an oasis, a mirage. You find so many different things in the desert, and to be able to be transformed and to have a different outlook after you get out of these places that you think you're never going to get out. We have the spark, of creation, of creativity. I would say to my the sisters that creativity feeds the goddess, and to find what you're good at, because everyone has their gifts and their ways to go. We have a landscape of stuck in the mud, having quicksand. This is a place, when you struggle with quicksand, you sink deeper. So you need to slow down. You need to kind of reflect and look around and see what you can do to get out of this. Most people, when they get stuck, they start to panic and they start to, oh my gosh, and start to move and start to struggle. It just tells you to slow down, be aware, and then come with this plan. It has follow the leader. It is when you go through a different phase in yourself and your elevation, to lead by example. What all these experiences that you have a purpose. In the landscape, in the saying that money, prestige, and romance doesn't lead you to your true path. They're just things that you come across through your journey. Your true path has purpose. Your true path has a destination. And we come across with so many different things in our journey. Sometimes we come with signs. They have signs in our journey. But some signs, when you're aware and you're able to kind of like be in tune, you could kind of see which signs are right, because some signs are being put there by other people's shadow, by other people's self-doubt, and sometimes some signs are put in because they're trying to protect the treasure, and they don't want you to go there because they're trying to protect something or trying to keep you out. So when you become a understanding your path, your path, you are able to kind of see what are illusions and what are not. Sometimes we need to go to the place of solitaire to be meditate. Sometimes we need to step back and be by ourselves and kind of just, reflect and kind of go within, have a quiet moment that you are able to hear the answer. Prayers are, prayers is a way to ask for questions or to ask for something or to communicate, but meditation is to hear the answer. It have time when we would hit the land of the rock bottom, and also looks like, this is the pit like a well, and it has one way in and then it has a way out, but it looks so steep like a well. Sometimes when we are in the rock bottom, we don't feel like it has a way out. But if you stay still, if you reflect and let go of certain things that are heavy in you, that is keeping you at rock bottom, a ladder is going to appear that you're able to get out of this well, this situation, this place of abyss. And ladders, they're in the tree of life. It has a symbol of a tree of life when to elevation, and this is all within self. You have time that cleaning the house. Sometimes you have to physically move things around in your physical home, clean. If in springtime, like when you do your spring cleaning, the house feels so good to declutter, to let go things that you don't longer need. That's the same thing with your spirit. It's the same thing when you go into and you clean the shadows and the nooks and the crannies and shine light to it. Make your spirit light. When we don't focus on our physical, but we don't look in within and kind of be aware that we are also spiritual, and that spiritual is like everlasting. It's a very deep place. The magic stream, when you need to be refilled and you need to be recharged, to be able to connect with nature, to connect with understanding of yourself, to be light, to be able to just release the ghost land. A lot of us, I know I'm one of them, that I have lived in places not in present. I've always lived in the past or always worrying about the future, nostalgia and going into future of ghostland, and we not in the present time. We're not living in the present time. And I have felt that way. I felt like I went to sleep for 20 years and I woke up and I'm like, who am I? Why the hell? Why I'm here? Like, where? Why I'm standing in this landscape? Like, how did I get here? I just don't know. And I'm trying to put those pieces together. So we have to try to live at the moment at times. Don't get stuck in the ghost land. Don't get stuck in the past. It's still a journey that needs to be made. The storms of feels, sometimes we feel like we're like in an ever storm, in a hurricane, and at times we need those storms. Sometimes we do need that clearing the pathway to be able to rebuild. Sometimes that tower comes down and it's about rebuilding. The next one is the unknown, into the unknown. And this one, she's not looking through her physical eye, but she's feeling her way out. Sometimes we stop being the pathfinder and become the path itself. She's walking forward, And sometimes we don't know what is the next, but we get so worried. I am such a worry word. I'm a Taurus, and so much with Leo energy, and we don't like change. We don't like moving forward. We're comfortable in one place. This is just leave us here. We just good here, okay? But sometimes you have to have faith and walk into the unknown, and know that you have that compass in you. You have what you need within yourself. Sometimes we are being molded by life itself, by the experience that we have. And sometimes we want so much control. I am guilty of that, of trying to control everything and trying to make sense of everything. But sometimes we just have to allow the experience to mold us, to look at what we have achieved. She's there. She's holding this light, this cosmic light, and she's shining through of how she is coming out of this stone and she's coming to life. Sometimes we don't understand why these things are happening, but they are molding you. As long as you become aware of it and not get stuck in certain places. Strength. When we hold the whole world, tree of life, opportunities, and she is balancing. She is putting her leg up, her arm, she's stretching out, and it makes it look so easy. But it had these components that came together to make this strength and to be able to balance it. Transformation metaphors is butterflies. In a chrysalis, when a caterpillar is transforming, the caterpillar has to have a death for the butterfly to be born. And these transformation, the things in experience that we do, it transforms us. And it's not, it's not easy. It's not, journeying is not easy. But when we come through that transformation, when we leave that death, when we rebirth, go into something new and able to have the wings that we are able to fly high above the things that could be obstacles. Now the caterpillar is not dragging itself on the ground. Now it is flying, but it had to die for it to become. In the cocoon, it becomes liquefied, and then it completely becomes something else. Like the caterpillar could be nice and chubby and green and just moving around, and then it just completely a different creature. And moments of wide open, moments of just being your authentic self, to be able to just be you, to be able to have that breathing and just say, accept who you are. Look at she's in the cliff and you can't tell, she's just in awe. She just, she is who she is. And letting go of things that had heavy her, for her to open wide open and to share who she is with the world, and put in her purpose to reshape the world, a better world, for the destination of home. How your home will look. Oh, this will look like my home. I will live up straight up in a tree trunk with with a waterfall in the back, a stream. Oh yeah, this would look like my home. But what your home looks like, your destination, where you're trying to reach, where is your sanctuary, where is your safe haven. And through your journeying, we could go through so much detours, we can go through so much different paths, and not take it so serious. Sometimes we could take life so seriously, and miss so much great opportunities along the pathway. But some people take it seriously and live in the shadow, because they have to live, clear those shadows, see the joy, see the reasons of being lightheartedness, those things that heavy us, so we could, smile more and just live in joy and live in just not being so serious. But sometimes we are heavy and we have reasons to be heavy. We need to face them. We need to clear our area when we're walking, and just be aware, and to have a more meaningful journey. Because a lot of people, they could look at the end of their life and like, what did I do with my life? What did I do? What do I leave behind? What kind of marks do I leave behind? Was this all for nothing? Did I live in vain? Did I, what did I achieve? What did I leave behind? What is just so much that we feel, or holding our regrets, or holding I could have done this better, or just so many different things. But at the moment, in the present time, if you are aware, you are able to have the tools to kind of like guide you, and then you like, this is great work. What I leave behind, this is it. But a lot, we leave, we just be at the end unsatisfied. But this is the time, this is present time, this is a present time for you to be aware of your journey, and to feel blessed in it, to take the lessons and transform through it, and to be able to just enjoy your journey. Who wants to come into this earth realm and just struggle and struggle, and just see all just the dark landscapes, and all the challenges? By the time we just so tired, like, just let me rest here. Am I in the field of poppy seeds that we sleep in? Or we are in the land of distorted mirrors, that we see each other with so much distortness, and not reflected, because mirrors are so important. It have women, me, that at times I didn't want to look at the mirror, because maybe it felt my spirit was distorted. I was in the land of mirrors that was just reflecting these grotesque images. But whatever it is, now, this moment, know that you are in this journey, and you have the power to maneuver, to go through wherever you're going to go, with these tools that are inside of you, not outside, but inside. So till next time, I wish you love, much blessing, much healing, and great journey.